Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling what is, hands down, the biggest, most mind-bending riddle in all of nature: how consciousness evolved through time. It's a topic that has sparked endless debate, but we are actually going to walk through the specific evolutionary micro-steps that took life from entirely unaware to the incredibly complex human minds we all have today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Stripped down to its absolute core meaning, consciousness is just what allows us to be aware of our surroundings and of our own inner state. And we all intuitively know what consciousness is because, well, it's exactly what you're experiencing right this very second. But the moment scientists and philosophers try to pinpoint exactly what it is, poof, it leaves them grasping at thin air. It's actually kind of unsettling to realize that we don't fully understand what makes us aware of ourselves. But, like pretty much everything that makes us human, we do know it didn't just appear out of nowhere overnight. It is a product of evolution by natural selection.
So, to figure out the origin of this awareness, we need to establish our evolutionary baseline. Let's take a stone. A stone is obviously not conscious. It never shows any behavior, and it doesn't have a provable inner life. But compare that to a living thing, a living self. A living self is a piece of the universe that actively sustains itself and tries to make more of its kind. And to pull that off, it desperately needs a continuous, fresh supply of energy. Finding that food is exactly where having an awareness of the world suddenly becomes incredibly handy.
Now, here is the evolutionary ladder of consciousness. We're going to climb this step by step together today. We'll start way down at the non-conscious level, then move up to directional movement, then vision, memory, and finally, time and language. Which brings us to our very first major leap.
Section 1. Hunger sparks basic awareness, the search for energy.
Let's look at how early life solved its absolutely most pressing problem. Interestingly, on the smallest scales of life, you actually don't need to be aware to find food. Consider the Trichophax adherens. This is one of the simplest of all animals, and it moves around completely haphazardly, just random. But when it happens to stumble near food, it naturally slows down. And when there is no food around, it speeds back up. It's an incredibly effective biological trick that ensures this tiny creature spends more time in areas where there's food. But it never actually moves in a specific direction toward a specific target. It requires absolutely no true awareness of its environment to survive.
The first real step toward consciousness happened when mobile selves started moving directionally. Enter our cute, funny-faced worm buddy here, the Dugesia tigrina. Now, sometimes this worm is hungry and sometimes it's not, and that distinction is absolutely crucial. When it moves, it's no longer just some automatic response to the outside world. Its actions actually depend on its inner physiological state of hunger. When it's starving, it uses chemoreceptors on its head to actively smell its environment. It guides itself towards the strongest food scent, eats, and then strategically retreats to the dark to safely digest. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive evolutionary jump we've just taken. We've moved away from the Trichophax adherens, which basically bumps around randomly like a robotic vacuum, to the Dugesia tigrina, which is showing targeted, directional movement entirely driven by an internal state of hunger. It's actively moving toward what is good for it and away from what is bad. This right here is the birth of goal-oriented action. But as effective as smelling food is, it definitely has its limits. So we've got to climb the ladder again.
Section 2. Vision and inner worlds. Perceiving at a distance.
So animals that blindly follow their sense of smell still lack a real sense of what they're actually heading into. The next massive biological upgrade? Perception at a distance. Developing vision added a whole new spatial dimension, bringing deep context and depth to the space that we, and our food, exist in. An optical apparatus, like an eye, enables a hungry self to literally visualize its goal from afar and lock right onto it.
But wait, even with eyes, what happens when that tasty food runs behind a rock? If you only chase food as long as it's directly in your line of sight, you're going to go hungry a lot. So the next logical step had to happen on the inside. To visualize food when it's not physically there, a self needs to create an inner representation of the world. This is what gives rise to memory and a fascinating phenomenon called object permanence. This is simply the awareness that things continue to exist even when we can't directly see them. Because an animal can create a mental model of reality in its head, it can stay focused on its food even when that food escapes its immediate sensory range.
Now, I think it's really playfully grounding to look at how this complex cognitive skill actually plays out in reality. Object permanence is enjoyed by mammals, birds, and a few others, but the timelines for developing it vary wildly. Human babies? They typically don't develop this inner world awareness until they are around 8 months old. But consider baby chickens. They completely master this ability within just a day or two of being born. These adorable little chicks are constructing inner representations of the world almost immediately compared to us. And here's the thing, the capacity to remember a thing in its absence inherently suggests a basic sense of time, which brings us to our next major leap.
Section 3. Time and Mind Reading. Anticipating the future. Once you can represent the past inside your head, well, you can start looking forward from the present moment. You can anticipate the future. Let's look at adult chickens, for example. They can actually resist a meal put right in front of their faces if they expect to receive a bigger meal as a prize for holding back. Visualizing a reward that only exists in the future requires delayed gratification. That is a massive cognitive challenge. Frankly, it's one that even some adult humans struggle with today when it comes to a tasty snack.
But if you can anticipate the future, you eventually start to realize you aren't the only one out there looking for a snack. The ladder of consciousness climbs to an incredibly complex level when an animal develops what we call a theory of mind. This is the ultimate survival tool. It's the realization that there are other hungry selves out there who are also aware and who see the world from their own completely different perspectives. It is, essentially, the ability to mind read.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing this mind reading in action in the wild. Consider the western scrub jays. These are remarkably crafty birds. They're absolute experts in delayed gratification, hiding their food in a cache to retrieve at a later date. But it goes way deeper than that. If they happen to notice a potential bird thief is watching them hide the food, they will actually return later and re-hide their food in secret. By putting themselves in the position of others, they completely outsmart their competitors. They literally read the mind of their fellow birds to protect their hard-earned energy. Which brings us to the final evolutionary leap on our ladder, the one that really separates human awareness from our crafty feathered friends.
Section 4. The leap to language. Constructing our universe.
Language takes the ability to read minds and represent what is absent to an entirely new stratosphere. Words are just profound tools. They enable us to construct complex hypotheses about the world, make highly detailed long-term plans, and intimately communicate our inner thoughts with others. But most amazingly, words allow us to think about ourselves. We can ponder our actual place in the universe, and we can even actively obsess over our own consciousness.
So the crucial point is captured beautifully in this perspective right here. Just think about the entire evolutionary timeline we just walked through together. The origin of our consciousness began as the directed motion of a hungry self toward a source of food. That's it. It gave those early creatures a survival benefit over competitors that just bumped around at random. So even though we use our highly complex minds to dream about deep space or build towering skyscrapers today, those grand cognitive abilities are really just highly upgraded tools that were originally built for foraging. The whole shebang started with the simple urge for more food.
Collectively, life has poured hundreds of millions of years of evolutionary ingenuity into just getting food. And yet today, with just a few quick taps on a screen, we can have a meal simply come straight to our door, with almost zero conscious effort. Which leaves us with this final, really fascinating thought. If this incredibly complex consciousness of ours evolved primarily as a tool to secure our next meal, what on earth is it going to evolve into next, now that the hunt is basically over? It's an absolutely amazing thing to ponder. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking big questions and keep exploring that incredible inner world of yours.